All right, good afternoon and welcome to Sports Talk right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. I am your host, Kathya Davis. And yeah, today is November 1. Can't imagine we're now at the second to last month of the year. Um, we have quite a few to talk about. The Reggae Girls, they were in Trinidad last week. The West Indies finally winning a series. So I get to talk about them. I tell you guys, I'm only going to talk about them when they're winning because they're going to send up my blood pressure and I cannot manage that. All right. And of course, English Premier League is back on. But before we start, though, obviously, I can't do sports talk and not talk about what sporting events that have been impacted by Hurricane Melissa. And of course, for those who do have internet and electricity, we would have seen the devastation that has happened not only to homes, but to schools, not only to schools, but to the Catherine Hall Sports Complex. Literally underwater. I don't even know if the water has dried up as yet. When I saw the aerial shot of Catherine Hall, you couldn't see the track or the field where football is played, and our hearts here at Sports Talk goes out to all the players involved that would have been impacted, starting as I speak from the Jamaica Premier League. So all the players at the Montego Bay United the Montego Bay United club, as well as Treasure Beach Club. That club is also in the Jamaica Premier League. Most of the players would have lost everything from both clubs. And so very, 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 very disheartening. Very, very disheartening for them. And we're looking to see how best it is that the Jamaica Premier League and others are able to support them as best as possible. But it's very, 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 very disheartening. And of course, now I go to the schools. So many schools impacted. St. Elizabeth Technical High School. I mean, literally all the schools, so many schools. But of course, that kind of stands out in my mind when I saw images of Herbert Morrison Technical. Saw so many images of these schools and what their programs that will be affected. Most of these schools either preparing for students, athletes preparing for the Boys and Girls Championships, or would have still be involved in the Manning Cup competition, and they have no school, they have no home, and it's quite desolate, quite hopeless for them at the moment. They're grateful for life, but their livelihoods and everything is just, it's just heartbreaking. And us on the eastern side of the island, we are so grateful. We're very grateful, but at the end of the day, we are still very much impacted by the images that we're seeing. It really breaks. It really breaks the heart. But as our hearts are broken, we look to provide as best a support as we can for those who have been impacted by Hurricane Melissa. Especially now, we're talking about support overall, but of course, in terms of sports and rebuilding sports facilities, I'm sure Catherine Hall will have to go under a lot of renovation. And I know there were plans to do some sort of renovation to the complex. Maybe this is the perfect opportunity to get that going. Because we know that sports is one thing that unifies us as a people across this globe. Sports is a common unifying denominator, and to not have anything to look forward to, that is very, 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 very impacting for everybody from children right up to adults. And so we continue to pray. But as we pray, we continue to give our support as best as possible in whatever way we can. Give our support, whether it be in cash or kind. And of course, if we're given cash, just to ensure that we're giving through the right channels. So the official support website that the government has launched or any other reputable charity. There are unscrupulous persons who would be out there right now trying to gain from the loss, and we just have to be careful. We have to be careful, both locally and overseas. We have to be careful of who is collecting on whose behalf, and that we ensure, as I said, that the persons who we're giving to, that they are reaching those who are in need. They are persons very much, very, 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 very much in need right now. And so my heart goes out to everybody within the sporting fraternity that has been affected in one way or the other by the passing of the hurricane. Yeah. And we're hoping, we're hoping that we will be able to rebuild even stronger as a nation. And even as we go into our final thoughts, our final segment, rather, or our final section of the qualification to get to the World Cup, I'm hoping that this will be a push factor for us, for our teams, to get us over the line to some sort of glimmer of hope regarding sports wise, will come. Right. All right. So we go, before we go to our break, we are gonna talk about some football. We're gonna talk about some football. Right. First, we're gonna start off with what's going on in the English Premier League. We are now in round. I want to tell you, give you the right information. Yeah, it's been a rough week. It's really been a rough week. It's really been a rough time. It's almost as if, yeah, the helplessness, or can't stop. All right, so I'll go back. So I'll roll back because we did have a break. Well, not necessarily a break, but yeah. So we go back to last weekend, the results from last weekend, which would have been in round 9, and then I'll give you the matches so far in round 10 and the games to come. All right. So going back last week in round 9, Leeds United, they defeated West Ham 2-1. Newcastle defeated Fulham 2-1. Sunderland defeated Chelsea 2-1. Manchester United, they were 4-2 winners over Brighton. Brentford, they were 3-2 winners over Liverpool. Burnley, 3-2 winners over Wolves. Bournemouth, 2-0 winners over Nottingham Forest. Arsenal were 1-0 winners over Crystal Palace. Aston Villa were 1-0 winners over Manchester City. And Tottenham were 3-0 winners over Everton. And that closed out the round 9 of the English Premier League, and round 10 in the English Premier League started this morning with Fulham defeating 10 men Wolves by 3-0. Crystal Palace, they were 2-0 winners over Brentford. Leeds, they were defeated 3-0 by Brighton. Arsenal, 2-0 winners over Burnley. Manchester United and Nottingham Forest playing to a 2-2 draw. And in the 42nd minute, Chelsea, they're leading fellow Londoners, Tottenham, 1-0. And then at 3:00, Liverpool will play Aston Villa. And then tomorrow, West Ham plays Newcastle. Manchester City plays Bournemouth. And on Monday, Sunderland will play Everton. So let's go to the standings before we go to the first break in the show. Currently at the top of the standings, they've played 10 from 10. Arsenal, They are at the top of the standings, having won 8, draw 1, and lost 1. And they're on 25 points. Second in the standings, Bournemouth, they've played 9 games, having won 5. They drew 3 games and they lost 1 game. They're on 18 points. In third is Tottenham on 17 points. They are in the midst of playing their 10th game. They're 17 points. And Chelsea in fourth on 17 points, same as Tottenham, with Tottenham having a better goal difference. And of course, this is based on the goal score, the score right now between Chelsea and Tottenham. All right, let's go to the bottom of the table now. Nottingham Forest, they are 18th with 6 points. They've only won 1 game so far. They've drawn 3 games and lost 6 games. West Ham, they've played 9 so far, only won 1. They drew 1 and they've lost 7. Wolves, bottom of the standing, yet to get a win. They've played 10 games so far. They've lost 2. They've drawn 2 games and lost 8 games. And they're only 2 points from their first 10 games. And so they're rooted currently at the bottom of the table in the English Premier League. And of course, we continue to keep you updated in regards to the English Premier League, of course, on a weekly basis. So next week, we'll be able to give you the rest of the results from this week's games, and of course, the updated point standings, as well as the updated scores. Yeah. So we're going to go for a first break right here on Sports Talk. When we come back, we are still with football as we hear from Coach Hubert Busby after the Reggae Girls 4-1 victory in Trinidad. We'll be right back. Are you interested in what happens in the world of sports?
All right. Make it a roll call.
The Love Jockey is on duty every Saturday inside Youth Connection. Don't miss the hype. Don't miss the tunes. Don't miss the excitement with your boy, DJ Rebirth. Saturdays at 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. on the family station, Love 101. At 3 p.m., your DJ runs the gospel rhythm. Hot, hot. Tune in at 4 p.m. for a time where we share a word to grow your mind. GYM, grow your mind. Jim, get it? Grow your mind. And at 4:30 p.m., we share with you how young people are giving all their time and fulfilling their purpose inside Ministry in Action. We get a taste of poetry and spoken word inside Poetry and Praise. And you get to send us a WhatsApp message and request your favorite gospel song inside Gospel Faves at 5. All this and more every Saturday at 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. with your love jock, your boy, DJ Rebirth. It's all here on the family station, Love 101.
Youth Connection. Shuboti and them figured he provide everything on guide we power we chat. Shuboti and them figured him alone make we appear when we did chat. Hey, hey.
Every Saturday, 7 p.m. to midnight on Love 101. You're invited to travel in time with music at its best. It's the Gospel Music Machine with the Gospel Music Master, Nigel Wilkinson. From your favorite choir music to Christian contemporary, a touch of reggae and the Caribbean feel.
Gospel Music Machine with Nigel Wilkinson.
Nigel are playing the tune.
Yep, the Gospel Music Master is still playing the tunes down alone. And he's definitely your music master. Saturdays, 7 p.m. to midnight. You won't regret the link. It's on the family station, Love 101.
That is all I need. Everybody needs a helping hand, somebody to understand. In the end, we're all human. For people living with HIV, no discrimination. Here to support them through. Respect you as usual. Got to protect them too. Oh, when your friend or your family, somebody in your community. People living living with HIV. Protect, accept, and respect people living with HIV. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Wake up early as we start the day right. Weekdays from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. Inside Love in the Morning. With me, your host, Jukal Dyer, on the number one gospel station in the nation, Love 101 FM, the family station.
All right, welcome back to Sports Talk right here on the family station, Love 101. So early on this week, the Reggae Girls, they were in Trinidad, and some people call this a precursor to what is to come, hopefully, because our Reggae Boys will be in Trinidad in about a week's time. Yes, in about a week's time, they should be, or yeah, about a week's time, they should be in Trinidad themselves, preparing for as they take on Trinidad in the final round of the qualification for the World Cup. Right. So that being said, or Reggae Girls, as I said, they were in Trinidad, and so they played the Soca Warriors females team. Yeah, I'm gonna say that. I don't know what the female team is called down there. I know us is Reggae Girls here. Well, yeah, they were able to defeat Trinidad 4 goals to 1. And of course, we're gonna hear from Coach Schubert Busby as we hear what happened in that game. All right, let's go again with that clip.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I want to take this opportunity to let the people back home in Jamaica know our thoughts and prayers are with them. Stay safe and stay strong. This game was really about, and we spoke about, making sure we can go out there at the end of this game and give something to not just the Jamaicans on the island, but Jamaicans worldwide. We're going through a lot right now, and credit to the players and all of us really, who are impacted by what's going on at home. So, but first and foremost, like I said, we want to say, prayers for everybody and hope everybody is safe. As far as the game is concerned, as I alluded to before, there is no friendly matches when these two countries get together, and we knew it was going to be a tough match. Well-coached team, organized. They know that we were going to be tested. It's the reason why we took this game. I thought we were a little bit wasteful, to be honest, in front of goals. I think we always talk about goals change games, and I think early on if we put some of those chances away. But with that said, they responded really well, made a couple adjustments at halftime, spoke about things to improve on.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to those games that will come up. So by the time the men have ended their campaign or will end their campaign in trying to get to the 2026 World Cup, the women, they will begin their campaign to try to head to the next World Cup for the females. On another note, of course, as I said, based on the um, devastation that would have happened, most of the players, Jamaica Football Federation, have been giving their support, and we saw some support videos coming through from some of our senior reggae boys players, and we hope that that will continue, not just through videos, but of course through support through cash and kind. And I'm sure leading up to the next set of World Cup qualifiers that the local body and others will be on board, so that we'll be able to reach to those who are currently suffering from the devastation. As it relates to that, I spoke about schools earlier. Of course, both the ISA Manning and the Costa Cup have been paused. No word yet from ISA when it will resume. They did say that they will put out a 48-hour notice for the resumption of games. I'm not sure how the resumption of games will look like, because I'm sure they will have to look around to see the teams that have been affected, how they've been affected, players who have been affected. I mean, it's going to be quite a time. I know some schools, they will reopen on Monday, but that's probably just only the schools in the eastern section. So maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to get some Manning Cup games maybe in the next 2 weeks or so. But I don't know in terms of the DaCosta Cup games, because you're talking about St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland and Trelawney and St. James. That's 4 parishes, and parts of St. Anna as well. So that's 5 parishes within the Manning Cup. And then, the Costa Cup. And then there are schools in Manchester, or persons in Manchester. There are schools in, as far as Clarendon, because if we saw from the images, we see that Edwin Allen, parts of the Edwin Allen High School would have been affected as well. So it will be quite interesting. And of course, it's the president, Keith Wellington. He's also the principal at Stets, and Stets has suffered significant damage to their facility. So it is going to be interesting over the next few weeks to see how it is that ISA will be able to reconfigure both the Manning Cup. Maybe I think maybe the Manning Cup can go ahead and can restart to a certain extent. I don't know about the DaCosta Cup. May have to push pause on the DaCosta Cup indefinitely, in my opinion, based on the schools that would have been affected, that participate in that competition, that would be affected. But of course, as I said, ISA did say that they will give 48-hour notice prior to the restart of the competition. All right, we're going to go for a second break right here on Sports Talk. When we come back, we're going to be talking about some cricket, lovely cricket.
no containers, no mosquito, no dengue. So anywhere there is a breeding site, come make we get rid of them there. Believe me, people, don't play no fool. It's the only way to be dengue proof. Use repellent and cover up. But just in case you have a high fever with severe headache, pains to nausea, take a paracetamol, drink lots of water. No take no chance, still visit your doctor. Clear the site, avoid the bite, but just in case, treat it right.
A message from the Ministry of Health, sponsored by the NHF.
All right, we're gonna do a roll call.
The Love Jockey is on duty every Saturday inside Youth Connection. Don't miss the hype. Don't miss the tunes. Don't miss the excitement with your boy, DJ Rebirth. Saturdays at 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. on the family station, Love 101. At 3 p.m., your DJ runs the gospel rhythm. Hot, hot. Tune in at 4 p.m. for a time where we share a word to grow your mind. GYM? Grow your mind? Jim. Get it? Grow your mind. And at 4:30 p.m., we share with you how young people are giving all their time and fulfilling their purpose inside Ministry in Action. We get a taste of poetry and spoken word inside Poetry and Praise. And you get to send us a WhatsApp message and request your favorite gospel song inside Gospel Faves at 5. All this and more every Saturday at 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. with your love jock, your boy, DJ Rebirth. It's all here on the family station, Love 101.
Youth Connection. Shubopti and them figured he provide everything on guide people we chat. Shubopti and them figured him alone make we appear when we did chat. Hey, hey.
Every Saturday, 7 p.m. to midnight on Love 101. You're invited to travel in time with music at its best. It's the Gospel Music Machine with the Gospel Music Master, Nigel Wilkinson. From your favorite choir music to Christian contemporary, a touch of reggae and the Caribbean feel.
Gospel Music Machine with Nigel Wilkinson.
Nigel play the tune.
Yep, the Gospel Music Master is still playing the tunes down alone. And he's definitely your music master. Saturdays, 7 p.m. to midnight. You won't regret the link. It's on the family station, Love 101.
That is all I need.
Wake up early as we start the day right. Weekdays from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. inside Love in the Morning. With me, your host, Jukal Dyer, on the number one gospel station in the nation, Love 101 FM, the family station.
All right, welcome back to Sports Talk right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. Before the break, I alluded to this. The West Indies, they would have won their first T20 series in Bangladesh. So we're going to listen to a little clip and then we're going to come back and talk about it. So let's go.
With added significance, Friday's series sweep of 3-0 against Bangladesh is the first time ever for the West Indies in T20 internationals away from home. The men in maroon condemned Bangladesh to only their second defeat in 8 series at home.
I'm taking a lot of satisfaction from this series. It feels really great. As I said before, I've never come to Bangladesh and won any series, whether it be T20, ODI, or Test. So it feels really good that we can finally achieve a series win.
Rovman Powell, in his 100th game, was at his brutal best to inspire the team to victory. Akeem Ogist showed his promise with a match-winning half-century in the series finale, while Romario Shepherd and Jason Holder combined for 14 wickets in the series to lead the bowling attack. Building blocks for the regional team, who now journey to New Zealand to take on the Black Caps.
All right, and we just heard a clip there from West Indies media officer, Jerome Foster. Yes, he's now the media officer there over at for the West Indies cricket. But yes, finally, because you guys know I love to cuss West Indies, but I'm not cussing them. I'm in quite a celebratory mood because they have won a a series in Bangladesh, having done so poorly or been doing so poorly in very recent times, having been able to carve out a series victory. Quite wonderful. Of course, former captain and Jamaican Rovman Powell getting to that big number of 100, 100 T20 games. So I mean, it was good performances all around. I would just want to get to the scores so I can tell you the scores for the games, and of course, we'll talk about the upcoming series against New Zealand. All right, so the first set of games, or this was the T20 series. So let's start with the first in that series. Yes, first in that series for West Indies and Bangladesh. All right, so the third T20 ended with Bangladesh making 151 all out of 20 overs. West Indies, in their reply, they made 152 for 5 by beating Bangladesh by 5 wickets. And then when we look at the scoreboard, Tanzin Hassan was the leading runs scorer for Bangladesh. They were He made 89 from 62 deliveries. And the second highest run scorer for Bangladesh was Sahif Hassan, making 23 of 22. Other than that, the Bangladesh batting really fell down, with nobody else getting to double figure. At one point, Bangladesh, they were 107 for 3, and quite so look set to make a really, 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 really big score. And but that didn't plan out. In terms of the bowling for the West Indies, Romario Shepherd, he was a pick of the bowlers. Of his 4 overs, he took 3 for 36. And then, of course, Jason Holder, 3 for 32 of 4 overs, and Karim Pear took 2 for 23. In reply, the West Indies, as I said, they made 152 for 5, and we'll look where the runs came from. Amir Django made 34 from 23. Roston Chase, he made a half century, 50 of 29. Akeem Augusta also made a half century with 50 from 25. And of course, in terms of the Bangladeshi bowlers, Rashid Hussain, he took 3 for 43 or 4 overs. Really the one who really brought or was a threat to the West Indies batting lineup. But first victory in Bangladesh, and something to build on as they go through this series. The second match or second game in the series, right? I want to go back to the right. So the West Indies, they would have won that game by 16 runs. Or was that the first? Right. The first game in the series, they won by 16 runs. Bangladesh batted first. They made 149 all out, and West Indies replied with 165 for 3. And in the second T20, Bangladesh made 135 for 8, and the West Indies, they made 149 for 9 in reply. It was a good series overall. I still don't think that Coach Sammy should be coaching all 3 formats of West Indies cricket right now. And the truth is that West Indies continues to be a powerhouse, in my opinion, for T20, for the T20s. Will that continue? I don't know. But, I mean, there right now, we have very good play, even with the retirement of whose name, Nicholas Puran, from international cricket across the world. The West Indians are respected in terms of or talents at the shorter format or short test format of cricket. Can't say that for the other formats. We're still figuring out the ODIs, and we're still figuring out we still haven't figured out test cricket. I don't think we have figured out the test cricket part. But yeah, so we look forward to the rest of the series. We look forward to the rest of the times. As I said, they now move to New Zealand, where we will engage New Zealand in five ODIs. Sorry, five T20 games. Yes, we'll engage New Zealand in five T20 games. Currently, New Zealand the last 10 matches head to head, New Zealand has won 7 and we have won 3. So we'll do 3 tests, 3 ODIs, and 5 T20s in New Zealand. Actually, it goes the other way. We go from T20 to ODI to the test. So the T20 series begins on the 6th, the 5th of November, 5th of November, the 6th of November, the 8th of November, the 9th of November, and the 12th of November. That will be the first 5 T20s. And then we'll go on to a 3-match ODI series, which will be played on November 15, November 18, and November 21st. And then the 3 test series, which will be played on December 1, December 9, and December 17. So they will be playing New Zealand from the 5th of December to the 17th, the 5th of November to the 17th of December. So we're going to be spending quite a time with the Kiwis, Black Caps. Right. Quite a time with them as we engage them in a series. And we're looking forward to see again how it is that the West Indies is going to perform. Because as I said, I'm quite not convinced that Coach Sammy should be coaching all 3 formats. I really think we need to find a limited overs coach as well as a test coach. That's my quiet opinion. And I'm hoping that going into 2026, we'll look again, West Indies. We look again to see that this crazy idea of having one coach to coach all 3 formats is not good. I mean, and I've heard the arguments both for and against. One of the things is that I never see Darren Sammy play a test match in my life. I'm not sure that I can trust him to lead a test team. And it's not like Miguel Coley what's his name? Yeah. The former coach. He wasn't doing a bad job. So I can't understand. We went down under, that's in Australia, and we won. We won a few test series under his belt. And I don't know. Sometimes I'm so confused by the decisions that sports administrators make. And one of those administrators that confuse me all the time is West Indies cricket. They just know how to just throw the curveball at you. But we look forward to coming to the end of the year. This is their last season heading to New Zealand. This is their last series for the year. And so we look forward to good and better results from the team. We're going to go to our final break right here on Sports Talk. We will be right back. This is a public service announcement by the Ministry of Health and Wellness. The Ministry of Health and Wellness is urging all public health personnel, including nurses, doctors, administrative and support teams, to report immediately to the nearest health facility, hospital, or health center. Your commitment and service are vital to national recovery efforts, even as we work towards full restoration of health service delivery and care continue. Your well being remains a priority. Stay tuned to the local media, the ministry's website at www.moh.gov.jm, and its official social media channels at the MOHW.gov.jm for further updates. For more information, please contact the Health Emergency Operations Center at 888 1 Love. That's 888 663 5683 or WhatsApp at 876 223 7680. And that was a public service announcement by the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
All right. We're going to do a roll call.
The Love Jockey is on duty every Saturday inside Youth Connection. Don't miss the hype. Don't miss the tunes. Don't miss the excitement with your boy, DJ Rebirth. Saturdays at 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. on the family station, Love 101. At 3 p.m., your DJ runs the gospel rhythm. Hot, hot. Tune in at 4 p.m. for a time where we share a word to grow your mind. GYM? Grow your mind? Jim. Get it? Grow your mind. And at 4:30 p.m., we share with you how young people are giving all their time and fulfilling their purpose inside Ministry in Action. We get a taste of poetry and spoken word inside Poetry and Praise. And you get to send us a WhatsApp message and request your favorite gospel song inside Gospel Faves at 5. All this and more every Saturday at 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. with your love jock, your boy, DJ Rebirth. It's all here on the family station, Love 101.
Youth Connection. Shubopti and them figured he provide everything on guide we power we chat. Shubopti and them figured him alone make we appear when we did chat. Hey, hey.
Every Saturday, 7 p.m. to midnight on Love 101. You're invited to travel in time with music at its best. It's the Gospel Music Machine with the Gospel Music Master, Nigel Wilkinson. From your favorite choir music to Christian contemporary, a touch of reggae and the Caribbean feel.
Gospel Music Machine with Nigel Wilkinson on Love.
Nigel play the tune.
Yep, the Gospel Music Master is still playing the tunes down alone. And he's definitely your music master. Saturdays, 7 p.m. to midnight. You won't regret the link. It's on the family station, Love 101.
That is all I need.
Wake up early as we start the day right. Weekdays from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. inside Love in the Morning. With me, your host, Jucal Dyer, on the number one gospel station in the nation, Love 101 FM, the family station.
All right, welcome back to Sports Talk right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. And of course, the NBA is back. Well, it has been back. So we want to give you a little update on what's going on in the NBA. All right, so let's start off with the games that were played last night. And then maybe then I can give you some standings in both Eastern and Western Conference. I think we're now just about, on average, teams would have played 5 or 6 games so far in the season. So still pretty early in the season, yeah? All right, last night, the Hawks, they defeated the Indiana Pacers, Atlanta Hawks, that is, defeating Indiana Pacers by 128 to 108. Celtics, they were able to carve out a 1-point win over the 76ers. Raptors, they were 112 to 101 winners over the Cavaliers. Knicks, they were defeated by 135 to 125 by the Bulls. Lakers, they won 117 to 112 to the Grizzlies. Grizzlies rather. The Phoenix Suns, that is. Utah. They played Utah Jazz. They were able to win 118-96. Portland Trailblazers, they were 107 winners over the Denver Nuggets, and Los Angeles Clippers, they were 126-124 winners over the Pelicans. Today's game, so 4 o'clock, the Kings will play the Bucks at 5. Timberwolves play Hornets at 6. The Warriors will play Pacers, and still at 6 o'clock as well, the Magic will play Wizards. At 7, Rockets will play Celtics. At 9 o'clock, the Mavericks will play the Pistons. And in tomorrow's games, Pelicans will play Thunder. The Hawks will play the Cavaliers. Grizzlies play Raptors. And the early game tomorrow, rather, is the Pelicans at Thunder. That's 3 o'clock, 3:30. The other games have a 6 o'clock kickoff time, Jamaica time. 7:30 at 6 o'clock, rather. 76ers play Nets. Jazz play the Hornets at 7 o'clock. Bulls will play the Knicks. Spurs play the Suns, and the Heat play the Lakers. That game should be interesting. Carolyn said early season games have been good. Bulls, OKC, Spurs looking good early season. Carolyn, can you remind me who is your team? Is it the Lakers? Who's your team again, Carolyn? I don't remember, We talk about so many sports, so much sports with each other. I don't remember. I can't keep up with your teams at all. I'm waiting to hear from you, Carolyn. Who your NBA team is, right? All right. So far in the NBA Eastern Conference, the Bulls, they are 5 from 5. So they are top of the NBA Eastern Conference. Okay, I'm just checking that you're a Warriors fan. I couldn't remember because I remember getting beaten by a LeBron fan the last time because I apparently didn't say good things about LeBron. I didn't say anything bad. Anyways, Kaminga definitely. Kaminga he's been like, yeah. And boy, can we talk about Carolyn? Carolyn, me need for talking, because boy, what's going on? Are they trying to make a dream team over there at the Warriors? The Warriors say, let's get everybody and anybody. Let's just get them all, right? The 76ers, they're currently second in the standings over by the Eastern Conference, while the Bucks are third. Heat, they're in fourth. Pistons in fifth. Celtics in sixth. And Cavaliers in seventh. Hawks in eighth. Knicks in ninth, and Hornets in 10th. I say all of that, or I give you all of that. There are 15 teams actually in the Eastern Conference, but we know that the top 6 teams, they will automatically qualify for the playoffs, while the teams in 7th to 10th, they will play in the qualification for the playoffs, and then the two teams that will come out of that will join the top 6 teams for the NBA playoffs. All right, NBA Western Conference currently being led by the Thunder. They've been perfect so far, along with Spurs. Warriors, they're in third. Trailblazers in fourth. Lakers in fifth. Nuggets in sixth. Clippers in seventh. Grizzlies in eighth. Rockets in ninth. And the Jazz in 10th. All right. And of course, it works the same way, right? So the top 6 teams, they will automatically qualify for the NBA playoffs. And then teams 7th through to 10, they will play in what we call in the playoff pool. And then the top 2 teams from there will qualify for the 2 other teams will qualify for the playoffs, and then they'll go like that. So yeah, I mean, that's really what's going on in the NBA. And then I'm gonna go a little to the NFL. Somebody did say, talk about NFL. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the NFL. We are now about to enter week 9 in the NFL, so I can give you the games that would have happened last week, in week 8. And I'll just go down. The Chargers, they were 37-10 winners over the Vikings. Jets, they were 39-38 winners over the Bengals. The Dolphins, they defeated the Falcons by 34-10. Bills defeated Panthers by 40-9. Patriots defeated the Browns by 32-13. The Ravens, they defeated the Bears 30-16. Texans defeated 49ers by 26-15. Eagles defeated Giants 38-20. Buccaneers defeated Saints 23-3. Colts defeated Titans 38-14. Broncos, they were 44-24 winners over the Cowboys. Pacers, they were 35-25 winners over the Steelers. And my team, the Kansas City Chiefs, they were 28-7 winners over the Commanders. Caroline says, okay, so he's our son team. Caroline, you watch NFL too? Somebody asked me about NFL the other day. I tell them, so I hope you're listening. The person who asked me about the NFL, here is the NFL information. Yes? Cool. All right. So we started week number 9 in the NFL 2 days ago, with the Ravens being 28-6 winners over the Dolphins. And then coming up tomorrow in the NFL, 49ers will play Giants. And I'll give you the games. They're quite early games now. So all these games will kick off at 1 o'clock. 49ers, Giants, Falcons versus Patriots, Panthers versus Packers, Vikings versus Lions, Colts versus Steelers, Bear versus Bengals, Broncos versus Texans, Chargers versus Titans, Saints versus Rams. Well, no, just Chargers versus Titans. And then we have a 4:05 kickoff for the Saints versus the Rams. Also, the Jaguars versus the Raiders. The Bills and the Chiefs, that game will kick off at 4:25. At 8:20, the Seahawks will take on the Commanders. And at 8:15, the Cardinals will play the Cowboys. And that would be week number 9 in the NFL. And of course, we will have the midweek games. Well, yes. Well, one midweek game, and then of course the next set of games will come up next Sunday or Saturday and Sunday. So yeah, that's pretty much what's going on. So now you got football, you got cricket, you got some NFL, and you got basketball. So now you know, sports talk quite rounded in how we operate. All right. So let's now talk about. I saw something yesterday which I want to talk about. Janelle Fowler-Reid, I believe she was named player of the series in the Sun Corp. I believe the netball series. I believe she was named player of the series, or she was the MVP again. I think this is her maybe 6th or 5th MVP title. So she's still going on pretty strong. All right, and then of course we know the Sunshine Girls, the series with the Sunshine Girls and the England Roses. That's coming up in December. So we have some sort of netball to look forward to coming up to the end of the year. I do believe it's December 5 and 6 at the National Indoor Sports Complex. Of course, it's a 4-game series. 2 games are played in England, 2 games are played in Jamaica. So we're definitely looking forward to that. This has been Sports Talk right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. We do this every Saturday between the hours of 1 to 2 p.m. This has been my absolute pleasure. Continue to keep safe. Continue to pray for those who would have been affected by Hurricane Melissa. And of course, wherever we can give our support, please do. Have a great rest of the afternoon. We return to the Gospel Train.